Suspense. This is the Man in Black, here again to introduce Columbia's program, Suspense. With us in Hollywood tonight as star is Mr. Otto Kruger, whose career on the screen and on the stage has afforded him a precisely equal number of appearances as a character on the right and on the wrong side of the law. Whether the man Mr. Kruger portrays tonight is devil or saint, we shall leave for you to judge when the play is over. It is called After Dinner Story. The author is Cornell Woolrich, the radio adapter Robert L. Richards. And so, with the performance of Otto Kruger as Mr. Hardecker, who told this extraordinary after-dinner story, we again hope to keep you in suspense.
Mr. Hardecker's residence? I believe I'm expected for dinner, please.
Your name, sir?
Kenshaw is mine.
Very good, sir. Mr. Hardecker? Mr. Kenshaw, sir.
Ah, number one. Good evening, Mr. Kenshaw.
Is this where Mr. Hardecker lives? My name is Lambert.
Mr. Hardecker? Mr. Lambert.
Number two.
My name is Prendergast. I think
Mr. Hardecker? Mr. Prendergast.
Number three.
Mackenzie's the name.
Mr. Hardecker? Mr. Mackenzie.
Number four. One, two, three, four. So you're all here, gentlemen?
Yes.
Then suppose we go into dinner. And after dinner, I shall tell you why you are here, what I have in mind. In fact, I shall tell you in the form of a story. A sort of after-dinner story.
All right. That's a great cup of coffee. I enjoyed it.
You pass that, please.
Well, gentlemen, did you enjoy your dinner?
Yeah, it was swell.
Then, if you'll excuse me for just a moment, I have certain instructions to give the servants, and after that I shall rejoin you. I shan't be long.
Certainly.
Well, what did that crack mean? Certain instructions to the servants.
How should I know?
I don't like the looks of the whole thing. Why all the mystery?
Well, I suggest that you have patience, Mr. Prendergast. Mr. Hardecker clearly intends to tell us in his own good time.
Yeah. And another thing. I don't eat in those fancy Park Avenue joints as a rule myself, but I've seen them in the movies. They always pass the food around to everybody. They don't bring it out of the kitchen already on your plate and just hand it to you.
Well, what possible difference can that make?
Well, I don't know, but I know it ain't right.
No. None of it's right. Why does a man invite four perfect strangers to dinner? What is this thing he has in mind for us he keeps talking about?
Well, all I know, he says he'll make it worth our while, and I can use a little of that worth your while stuff, the way business has been lately.
Obviously, the connection between us is that we were all in that elevator a year ago.
Oh, what of it? There's no mystery about that. The police cleared that up the very next day.
Maybe Mr. Hardecker doesn't think so.
Sorry to have kept you, gentlemen. Now, suppose we get down to business.
Mr. Hardecker, none of us wish to seem rude, but we were just wondering what this business is all about.
You have come to the obvious conclusion, of course, that it has to do with my son.
Well, yeah.
I don't see why we're all sorry, naturally, but that's all over and done with.
Yes,
and
almost. But there are one or two little details that I thought you gentlemen might help me to clarify.
Oh, sure.
Oh, well.
Fine. Yeah. Well, then, if you don't mind, I know you must remember most of it, but it's almost a year ago. I'd like to go over the whole story from the beginning.
Well, that's all right.
Well, it was just before 5 in the afternoon on August 30th of last year when the matter which concerns us here this evening had its beginning. And on that day, and at that time, all four of you, perfect strangers, who had never seen each other before in your lives, found yourselves, for personal and business reasons of your own, on various floors of the Norfolk building in Midtown Manhattan, waiting for the express elevator to take you to the lobby. The first passengers were on the 21st floor.
21. Going down, please. Express car, going down.
There are now 3 men in the elevator. The operator, Mr. Kenshaw and Mr. Lambert, who had gotten on at the 21st floor.
18. Going down, please. Face the doors, please. Going down.
Now there are 5 men in the car. Mr. Prendergast and Mr. Mackenzie had entered the elevator at the 18th floor.
15. Express car to the lobby. Going down, please.
Say hello to Eleanor for me.
You bet. Bye, Dad.
Bye.
6 men in the elevator. The last to enter, I had accompanied to the elevator door myself. He was my son.
These things drop pretty fast. Too fast for me.
Hey, this baby is moving.
Hey, look!
We can't stop it.
We're out of control. Stop it. Look out. We're going to hit.
Oh,
Get
on.
Do something.
Anybody got a match?
I think my leg's broken.
Get me out of here. I got a wife and kids. Somebody get me out of here. Get me out
Shut
of
up
here.
a minute, can't you?
So dark.
You're not the only one with a wife and kids. Has anybody got a match? We've got to get this door open.
Yeah. I don't have it.
We're liable to suffocate in here. These things are practically airtight. Where's the operator?
Operator, he's over here. I can feel the braid on his coat against my hand.
Oh. Hey, what about it, Bud? You've got a match so I can see what I'm doing here? Hey, operator.
He's dead.
Dead. Why doesn't somebody come? What's the matter with him? Why did they come?
Pipe down, will you? Pipe down. There, I got it. Now we'll get a little air anyway. Oh, there's a light up there somewhere. Yeah, I can hear voices. There, you hear them?
Help! Help!
Say, there's no use yelling your head off. They know we're down here. Yeah.
I wish my leg didn't hurt so bad.
Oh, let's see. Try wrapping your shirt around it tight. May stop some of the pain.
Thanks.
Yeah, easy.
Now what?
Nothing. Just sit and wait. That's all.
Why don't they hurry? What are they waiting for? Why don't they
Take
hurry?
it easy. Take it easy. You could be worse off.
Worse off?
Yeah. Like this poor guy, the operator. He's dead.
And so you waited. 6 men, 5 living, 1 dead. I know how it must have been for all of you, the minutes dragging by, there in the darkness, with nothing to do but wait.
How's your leg?
Better. How long do you suppose we've been down here?
Well, it's hard to tell.
Maybe they think we're all dead. Maybe they're just taking their time.
Don't worry. They heard you hollering all
But
right.
Gee, the poor guy. I wonder if he had any kids.
The operator? Yeah.
I often wondered sometimes what would happen if one of these things ever slipped.
Well, now you know. I'll never ride in one again.
So he's going to walk up 68 stories to the Rainbow Room.
I don't go to the Rainbow Room.
Oh, I'm certainly glad my father didn't get on this car with me. He was going to, but he changed his mind.
Wish I'd changed my mind. You know, if I hadn't gone back to make a phone call, I'd have been on another car.
What's the use of wishing? It's happened, and here we are.
Listen, there they are.
They're going to get us out.
Yeah.
Hello! Hello up there!
Yeah, we're coming to you. Take it easy.
Hurry, can't you? Hurry! Hurry!
We'll hurry. Anybody hurt?
Yeah, one guy's dead.
We'll be through to you in a minute. Okay, Ronnie, let her down now.
Look at that light up there.
Acetylene torches.
Yeah, they're gonna cut a hole in the roof.
What a racket.
Oh, I'm nearly deaf already.
Listen, you guys. We're coming through, see? Watch out for sparks. Get your rides and stand back against the wall.
Okay.
I never knew those things made so much noise.
It's because we're closed in.
No! What was that?
I don't know.
I thought I heard somebody holler.
Yeah, so did I.
Must have been one of those guys up above.
Those sparks are enough to blind you.
Well, don't look at them. They will blind you.
One went right by in front of my face, right across the car.
They couldn't have. They're dropping down.
Did you see it? It was awful bright.
Oh, just a reflection. Don't look at it.
I guess they got it cut through.
Phew, yeah. I couldn't have stood much more of that.
They're pulling off the top. It won't be long now.
All right. Stand clear down there. I'm going to jump down.
Hey, cop.
And no cop ever looked lovelier.
All right. Pass them ropes down now. Okay, hold it. All right. Who's first now? Who's the worst hurt of you all? How about this fella?
And that's the operator. He's dead.
Hey, look. Those other two guys have both passed out.
Yeah, shocking, yes.
Officer, I've got to get out of here. I feel pretty bad.
Hey, hold your horses. There's nothing wrong with you.
But
That man's got a broken leg there.
Who's got a broken leg?
I have, I think.
All right. Can you sit in this rope sling here?
I'll try.
Now hang on with both your hands.
I'll be all right.
Okay. Pull him up.
Well, so long, fellas.
Take care of that leg.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks. My name's Lambert.
And mine's Mackenzie. Maybe we'll run into each other sometime.
Yeah. Well, so long.
All right, let me have that rope now. Well, who's next now?
Well, maybe you better take those two guys that passed out. They might be hurt.
Why, sure. How about this young fella?
Sure. He got a little blood on him, hasn't he?
He has that.
glass from the light fixtures, I guess.
Well, I don't think it's serious.
You don't, eh?
No, he seemed to be all right.
Well, whatever he seemed to be, he's not now. This man is dead.
Dead? Oh, but he can't be.
Look here, my lad, you don't seem to realize that you've come through a pretty serious accident.
I know, but he can't be dead. We heard him talking just a few minutes ago. Isn't that right?
Yes, I heard him.
Well, sure. He was talking to us here in the dock. He said something about being glad his father wasn't on this
I
elevator.
can't help what he said or what you heard him say. This man is dead.
My son, who had survived the original accident without apparent injury, was dead. You gentlemen were more fortunate. You lived. 5 days later, you four met again. It was at police headquarters. About 2:30 on a Friday afternoon. The last to arrive was Mr. Lambert.
In here, Mr. Lambert.
Thanks.
Hello there.
Hi, fella.
Hey, how's the leg?
Pretty good.
Mr. Lambert,
That's right.
I'm Chief Inspector McMahon.
How do?
You'll just take a seat there. Yes, sir. Well, we all here now? Mr. Kenshaw, Mr. Prendergast, Mr.
Yes?
McKenzie,
That's me.
Mr. Lambert.
Yes, sir.
Well, now, as I told each of you over the phone, I won't keep you very long. I just wanted to ask a few routine questions about that business of the elevator the other day.
Well, what's the matter? Something phony about it?
Not for our money. It's an open and shut case. Suicide.
Suicide?
Yeah. You mean the operator wanted to bump himself off so he could...
No, not the operator. He died of a fractured skull. It's young Hardiker we're interested in. His father's been raising a row, so we said we'd investigate, but...
I still don't get it.
Wesley Hardiker was killed by a .32 caliber bullet through the heart.
You mean he killed himself right in that car with all of us?
What else? He wasn't shot when he walked in, and he was dead when we brought him out. Unless one of you killed him.
Oh, no.
Well, now.
Any of you know him?
No.
Well, then there you are. Even the father had to admit that as far as he knew, his son had never seen any of you before in his life.
But it don't make sense.
What don't make sense?
Well, I mean, a guy shooting himself in an elevator with four other people that nobody didn't even know it.
Did any of you hear the shot?
Not before they started the blowtorches. I could swear to that. Couldn't have heard one anyway.
Yeah, you see.
Hey, wait a minute.
Did you hear something?
No. But Mackenzie, remember I said when I was laying on the floor of the elevator that I thought I saw a spark from one of those blowtorches that went across the car instead of falling down?
That's right.
Anybody else see it?
The blowtorches were absolutely blinding. You couldn't see a...
How about you, Mr. Kenshaw?
I'm afraid that I fainted or something silly like that. I'm not a very strong person.
Well, it was probably the gunshot, all right. Nothing very mysterious about it. The gun belonged to young Hardiker, licensed in his name, and had only his own fingerprints on it.
Well, maybe I shouldn't ask, but why did he do it?
The official verdict is suicide while of unsound mind.
He seemed all right. He talked to us perfectly sensibly just before it happened.
Just goes to show. You never can tell, can you?
Oh, he'd always been nervous and highly strung. We got that out of his father. The strain of being down in that black pit was just too much for him, that's all.
Oh, what a terrible thing. To break down just as we were about to be rescued.
Yep, it's too bad. Boys seem to have everything to live for, too. But we find that sort of thing all the time.
The noise, I suppose. I've read of cases of nervous breakdown caused by noise.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I guess I don't need to keep you gentlemen any longer.
Well, I'm certainly glad there were no complications.
Oh, don't worry. If one of you'd had anything to do with it, you'd be back in the cell right now.
That was almost a year ago. Last week, each of you received a phone call from me. I can well understand and sympathize with the fact that you were somewhat astonished, perhaps a little suspicious of what you heard. I don't doubt that most of you debated at some length in your minds the advisability of accepting my invitation at all. You, for instance, Mr. Mackenzie, you are married, as I remember. I imagine that you talked quite seriously with your wife about the whole affair. I phoned your home, I believe, at about 8:30 last Monday evening.
Yes? This is Mr. Mackenzie speaking. Well, I'm sorry, but I don't seem to place you. Oh, of course, Mr. Hardiker. Well, frankly, I don't see the point. You don't know me, and I don't know you. Yeah? Yeah, I see. Well, all right, Mr. Hardiker. I'll be there. That's a funny name.
Who was it, dear?
His name is Hardiker, the father of that boy who killed himself in the elevator last year.
Oh? Well, what does he want?
He wants me to come to dinner with him on Saturday at his home.
Why, how lovely. He's a very important man, isn't he? Did he ask both of us?
No. As a matter of fact, he's asking the 4 men who were in that elevator with his son when he died.
What a strange idea. Seems sort of gruesome to me.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Didn't he say anything?
Oh, he said quite a lot.
Well, what did he say?
I was just thinking.
Oh, now, please, Stephen, don't sit there and be so tantalizing. What did he say?
Well, he said something about his son's estate. Seems his son had quite a lot of money in his own right. The old man said he didn't need it, and there weren't any other relations, and... Well, he sort of hinted that he thought it might be a good idea to split it up between the 4 men who were with his son in his last moments of life, as he put it.
Why, Stephen, how wonderful. Why aren't you excited? How much is it? Do you suppose it's a lot of money?
I don't know.
Why, it might be several $1,000s. It might be several $100,000. Oh, Stephen, what's the matter with you?
Well, just such a crazy thing to do, that's all.
Don't see that makes any difference. If a man wants to do a nice, kind, generous thing.
Look, honey, if it was generosity, he'd give it to charity. If it was a sort of memorial to his son, he'd set up a scholarship or build a hospital or something.
Well...
The old man was pretty broken up about it when it happened. I remember reading something about his being in a sanitarium for a while afterwards. And he never did believe the verdict of suicide. The police as much as told us that at the time. How do I know he doesn't think one of us killed the boy?
Oh, that's absurd.
All right. But anybody who's crazy enough to divide up a wad of dough between 4 perfect strangers is crazy enough to think a perfect stranger killed his son.
Oh, why, that...
Maybe he thinks we all did it. Maybe he's wacky and has some crazy idea about revenge and is going to use the dough as bait to get us all together.
I hadn't thought of it like that. Perhaps you ought not to go.
I already said I would. Oh, anyway, maybe it's on the level.
Stephen, do you still have that gun you used to have when you worked at the bank?
Yeah, I have it there.
I think you ought to take it with you Saturday night.
Honey, I think you've got something there. I think that's a very good idea.
And so, gentlemen, I'm quite gratified that you all saw fit to accept my rather unique invitation, and that we are all here together this evening. By the way, Mr. Mackenzie, I'm afraid I must ask you to give me that gun that you brought along.
So that's it.
And, Mr. Mackenzie, you will notice that one of my servants who is standing in the door directly behind you has got you covered, is the phrase, I believe.
Oh. Okay.
Thank you.
How did you know?
Why, the butler sort of patted all your pockets when he removed your coats, but aside from that, I've spent most of my waking hours during the past year looking into the backgrounds of all you gentlemen.
So I was right about this setup after all.
Now, look here, Mr. Hardecker. I came here tonight in perfectly good faith. I even canceled a very important business appointment.
With Mr. Joseph Donahue of Celluloid Products.
Yeah.
All right, let's cut out the mystery. What's this all about?
Yes,
really, Mr.
what's the
Hardecker,
idea?
Now, wait a minute. One moment, gentlemen, one moment.
But,
I didn't ask you up here under false pretenses. I fully intend to divide my son's estate precisely as I suggested over the phone. I sincerely hope you don't resent my investigation of your backgrounds.
Well, gee, Mr. Hardecker, my background isn't much, I guess, but...
Perhaps we all owe you an apology, Mr. Hardaker, but you must admit the whole thing's been a little strange.
It has indeed been very strange. I think, however, that phase of the matter is about over. Now, before we get down to business, there is one detail that I'd like you to help clear me up.
Sure, we'll be glad.
Shall I bring it in now, sir?
If you please. Is it well mixed?
Yes, sir.
In the center of the table. Thank you, Johnson. Now, please see that we are not disturbed on any account whatsoever.
Yes, sir.
Say, that looks good. What is it?
Oh, it's got quite a number of things in it. White of egg, mustard, milk.
It sounds like an antidote for poison.
It is an antidote for poison.
A what?
Gentlemen, there is a murderer in this room. One of you killed my son and hasn't paid for it yet.
Oh, don't be a fool. The coroner's verdict was suicide.
This is not a discussion, Mr. Mackenzie. This is an execution.
I'm getting out of here.
There is a man with a gun outside each door. You'll find them very unreceptive to that idea, Mr. Prendergast.
Sit down. He's got us.
Well,
The only thing we can do is try to talk a little sense.
I'm not open to arguments, Mr. Mackenzie. One of you killed my son. I know who that man is. It's taken me a year to find out, but I now know. The food that man ate tonight was poison.
Yeah, no, but
In 10 minutes, he'll drop dead.
You can't take the law into your own hands that way.
Unfortunately, the law demands a very specific type of evidence. The police, whom I consulted repeatedly, do not believe it possible to get a conviction on the evidence I have. And therefore, the conviction must come tonight.
well, you wouldn't dare. You couldn't kill a man in cold blood that way.
There is an alternative, Mr. Prendergast. It is there in the center of the table. The antidote.
Oh.
The murderer may either confess his crime by drinking the contents of that bowl, or he may keep silent and go to his death here tonight. Privately executed for what cannot be publicly proved.
But they could send you to the chair for that.
I am quite aware of that contingency, Mr. Crenshaw, and quite willing to accept the consequences. But the murderer will have gone to his death before me.
But how do we know you poisoned the right...
The murderer knows, Mr. Prendergast. The rest need have no fear.
Hey, I think the guy's crazy. Maybe he poisoned all of us.
Look, Mr. Hardiker, this whole thing is insane. Nobody killed your son.
As to that, we shall shortly see, Mr. Mackenzie. The man who killed my son has approximately 7 minutes to live.
7 minutes.
It's me. I know it's me he's poisoned. My whole insides are on fire. It's me he's
Don't
poisoned.
fall for it unless you're sure. The whole thing may be a gag.
I assure you, nothing has ever been more serious, Mr. Mackenzie.
You know, I don't feel so good myself.
Neither do I. Probably just indigestion. After dinner story like this is enough to give indigestion to a horse.
No kidding. Hey, supposing this guy's a maniac. Suppose he just made it all up in his own head and poisoned all of us.
Listen, Mr. Hardiker. Let me just tell you this. If I come out of this alive, I'm going to beat your brains out of it. It's the last thing I do.
I can't stand it.
Mr. Hardiker, I didn't do it. I swear I didn't. I didn't do it.
Shut up, Shut up.
5 more minutes.
Hey, I feel awful. Maybe we all ought to take some of that stuff, just in case.
Yeah, that's it. We'll all take it.
Yeah? Who'll take it first?
Unfortunately, gentlemen, there's only enough antidote for one.
Even if you're right, Hardiker, this is no way to do...
This is my way.
You're crazy, I tell you, crazy!
Perhaps. Have you a son?
Kenshaw!
Will it save me?
Well, gentlemen, now you know.
All right. All right, what do I care? I killed him. And I do it again. I hated him all my life. In school, in college, he never even knew that I existed. He was too good for someone like me. And he had everything. Money, everything. Then he married the girl that I loved. She didn't know how I felt. I never told her. And then she died. Pneumonia, they said. She wouldn't have died if she hadn't married him. So I killed him. I saw him get into the elevator. And then it fell. It fell. It was as though God had delivered it into my hand. It came to me there in the dark. I choked him. I choked him, and then he got out his gun, and I put my hand over his, and I turned it against him and fired. But I'm glad. I'm glad.
Look! Help him, somebody. Help him.
Here. Hold up his head.
Yeah. Never mind. He's dead.
It didn't work in time.
You killed him, Hardiker.
No, I didn't.
I tell you, he's dead.
Yes, I know. But what he drank was not the antidote. It was the poison.
Poison?
You see, I didn't exactly know which of you killed my son. I only knew that one of you must have. And so Robert Kenshaw convicted himself in front of all of you and was his own executioner.
But then, he was never poisoned at all until...
Until he drank the contents of that bowl.
Gee.
I shall divide the estate, gentlemen, as I promised. Meanwhile, you may call the police if you like. Let the law and divine providence decide whether this man died by my hand or by the guilt that lay upon his own soul.
And so closes After Dinner Story by Cornell Woolrich, starring Otto Kruger. Tonight's tale of Suspense. This is the Man in Black, who conveys to you Columbia's invitation to spend this half hour in suspense with us again next week, same time, when our star will be Gene Lockhart in the suspense play called Statement of Employee Henry Wilson. The producer of Suspense is William Spear, who tonight also directed the broadcast, and who with Lud Gluskin and Lucian Marlowick, conductor and composer, and Robert L. Richards, the radio author, collaborated on tonight's Suspense.
Make a note on your calendar that beginning December 2nd, Suspense will come to you on Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern Wartime, 7 p.m. Central Wartime, and 6 p.m. Mountain Wartime. Remember, Suspense will be heard on Thursday nights beginning December 2nd. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, transcribed and starring the entire Nelson family, Ozzie, Harriet, David, and Ricky. One of the interesting things about the Nelson household is that occasionally it's very quiet around the house. Now, for instance, you take the present moment. Harriet's in one of those rare moments of relaxation. She's usually the busy one, but right now, she's sitting in a big easy chair doing a little knitting. I thought maybe we might pick up the click of the needles, but she's a pretty quiet knitter, too. I don't know where David and Ricky are, but that's Ozzie sitting over there in the bigger, easier chair. He's just taking it easy and in a pretty big way.
Ozzie? Oh, I'm sorry. Were you dozing off there?
No. I was just sort of thinking. Not actively, but passively. I mean, I was thinking, but I wasn't thinking of anything in particular.
That's okay, dear. A person has a right to his private thoughts. I think that's guaranteed in the Constitution or something, isn't it?
Well, if it isn't exactly guaranteed, it certainly is implied.
I was just doing a little thinking myself.
Oh? What were you thinking about?
Oh? I thought I was guaranteed.
No, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to.
Well, actually, I was just thinking, we haven't been out any place recently.
Oh, I don't know. I think we have. I mean, this is just a stretch during the year when not many people give parties.
Everybody will probably give a party at once. I sent a couple of your suits out to be cleaned and pressed just in case.
A couple? You sound as if I have a closet full.
You do. Not many are wearable.
Oh, I'll get it. Just a minute. Well, hiya, Joe.
Hi, Oz. How's my boy?
Fine. Come on in. I hope you'll forgive my appearance. I wasn't expecting any company.
Oh, that's okay, Oz. I can only stay for a minute. I want to extend an invitation to you and Harriet.
Hello there, Joe.
Hiya, Harriet. How's my girl?
Just fine, thanks. Won't you come in and sit down?
No, thanks, Harriet. I just dropped by for a minute.
Hi, Mr. Randolph.
Well, hello there, Ricky. How's my boy?
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen him today.
No, I mean you. How are you?
Oh, fine, thanks.
What's this about an invitation, Joe?
Well, Oz, I've had my annual brainstorm.
I'll bet I know what it is.
Well, let me do the honors, Harriet. I have a scroll here someplace. Oh, yeah, here it is. Hear ye. All ye old friends and ye old neighbors are invited to ye old Randolph's house for ye old come as ye are party. And all ye whosoever chicken out are dirty dogs.
Oh, another one of those crazy parties of yours, huh, Joe?
Yes, sir. And it's at our house as usual, and you're liable to get the call any time this afternoon or tonight.
Oh, boy, me too.
No, son. Ye aren't old enough.
Yeah, that's right, Ricky. This is just for the grown-up children. Now, remember the rules, Oz. When the phone rings, drop everything and come running just the way you are, no matter how you're dressed.
Yeah, I remember. Just drop everything and run.
Of course, if you were just fastening your suspenders, you better pick up your pants.
Oh, well, yes.
That sounds like a good idea.
Now, remember, you're on your honor to come as you are.
You wouldn't want to give us a hint about when it's going to be.
Why,
I figured you wouldn't.
Then we'll see you later, Joe.
Yeah, right you are, Harry.
It's at your house, you say?
That's right, Oz, our house.
Fine. Joe, what time should we drop over?
Oh, no, you don't. You thought you could make me say be over at our house at 7:30, didn't you?
Oh, so it's 7:30, huh?
That's right, Oz, 730 Oak Street, where we've been living for the past 10 years. See you later.
What is this party anyway, Pa?
Oh, just a party, son.
How come Mr. Randolph wouldn't tell you what time to come?
Well, that's the point of it. You're not supposed to know.
Kind of like a secret, huh?
Yeah, kind of. Mr. Randolph will call us on the phone, and we'll have to go over there in whatever clothes we're wearing at the time.
Even if you have your old clothes on?
That's right. That's the fun of it. Getting caught unawares.
That doesn't sound like much fun to me, getting caught in your underwear.
Nobody actually gets caught in his underwear unless he's pretty dumb.
Oh, I don't know. You did pretty well last year. As I recall, you were the hit of the party.
Oh. What were you wearing, Pa?
Oh, it's what he wasn't wearing.
No, I had on my pajamas and an old bathrobe. Wouldn't have been too bad, except most of the other people seem to be very well dressed. But don't worry, that Joe Randolph isn't going to catch me this year.
Where are you going?
Well, I just thought I'd go upstairs and put on my good suit. And when he calls, I'll be all set.
I thought you were supposed to wear whatever you have on.
Well, that's right. And when he calls, I know what I'll have on. My good suit.
But won't that spoil the fun?
Not for me, it won't. This year, the fun is going to be not knowing what everybody else will be wearing.
I don't get it.
Well, if it sounds a little confusing to you...
Oh, no, Pop. Sounds very confusing.
Well, anyway, I don't intend getting caught in my pajamas and old bathrobe again this year.
Yes, but...
No, I know what you're going to say. Where's my sense of humor? Where's my sense of fair play? Where's my good sportsmanship? And I say to you, where's my good suit? I'm going upstairs.
All right, but I still think you're taking this thing too seriously.
Crazy mixed up adults.
Oh, Harriet. Now, who ever heard of sweeping the porch in a formal party dress? Where's your sense of fair play? Where's your sportsmanship?
The same place yours are, up in the bedroom closet. Now go on before I lose my sense of direction with this broom.
Look out there. You must admit this was a smart thing to do. No use going over the Randolphs in old rags.
Now, I suppose you're right. I'm sorry if I got any dust on you. Here, let me brush you off.
No thanks. I think I'll go over and tell Thorny about my little scheme.
Looks like you won't have to.
What do you mean?
Well, there's Thorny over there now, and he's got his tuxedo on.
Oh, for goodness sakes. Hey, Thorny!
Hi, Oz.
Oh, I didn't know they were going to have a head waiter at the party.
Relax, Oz. I just don't want to get caught like I was last year.
Well, how was that?
You mean you don't remember?
I don't believe so. I was in my pajamas and an old robe. I thought I was the hit of the show.
You were just the opening act, Oz. I was the featured attraction. See, when the phone rang last year, I was taking a shower.
Oh! You were all wrapped up in that silly-looking bathrobe.
Well, that was our shower curtain. But I'm not worried this year. That Joe Randolph can phone any time he chooses.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah, you do look pretty sharp at that.
Well, thanks. I haven't had this dark suit on in some time.
Yeah, I know. I can smell the mothballs. How do you like our old tux, huh?
Oh, fine. Say, those work gloves really set it off nicely.
Oh, thanks. Almost forgot. I got to take out the trash.
What about your suit? White ashes won't look so good on that green tuxedo.
Oh, they'll brush off. Even if they don't, I'm not going to be caught with my tuxedo off.
I don't blame you. Gee, I wish Joe would call now.
Did you hear the phone?
No. I just said I wish he'd call. It'd be all ready for him.
I better get in the house.
Oh, I thought you were going to take out the ashes.
Yeah, I am, but I think I'll get my top hat and cane just in case Joe calls early. Hey, you know what, Oz?
What's that?
I bet I'll be the best-dressed trash man in town.
Well, I'll see you later, Thorny. Fellas.
Oh, hiya, Pop.
Holy smokes, where are you going all dressed up?
Oh, nowhere, Dave. That is not for a little while yet. Your mother and I are invited to a come-as-you-are party at the Randolphs' house. Going to wash the car for us?
Yes, sir. Mom asked me to.
Well, that's very nice of you to wash it when she asked you.
Yes, sir.
Of course, the dollar he's getting has nothing to do with it.
You'll get your share. Come on now, hand me that soapy water.
What kind of soap are you using there, Dave?
I got it from the kitchen.
Not too much soap now.
Why not, Pop?
Well, it's liable to be too strong, and then the paint oxidizes or something. It makes it kind of... not too much soap.
Okay, Pop.
I think I'd rinse it off now if I were you, Dave.
You're not going to want a consultation fee, are you, Pop?
No. Just want to help you do the job right. Hey!
Yeah, Pop.
Oh, now, Dave, it was a narrow escape. Can't afford to get this suit splashed.
Sorry, Pop.
Can't you get it clean, Pop? I think the cleaner's coming today.
Well, that's not the point, son. Yeah, I better step back. You don't have to change my clothes.
Look out, Pop! Holy smoke.
Did you hurt yourself, Pop? No. Pants are soaked. Put that bucket there anyway.
You did.
The back of your pants are soaked, Pop. I seem to be aware of that. Thank you, David.
Is everything all right, David?
Yes, ma'am. Where are you, Mom? Hey, look out with the hose, David. I'm sorry, Pop. It's all right, son. I suppose the damage was already done.
Ozzie!
Please, Harriet, no salt in the wounds.
You're the one who was going to stay dressed up for the party.
Yes, that was my plan. Obviously, it's all wet. Harriet, where are my other suit pants?
In the closet.
Why don't you answer the phone, Pop?
What phone?
The phone that's ringing. Right over there.
Oh, yes.
It might be Mr. Randolph. You wouldn't want to miss a party. You want me to answer?
No. Just give me a pair of pants. I'll answer it.
Here.
Hey, whose pants are these anyway?
Well, they're mine.
Oh. Holy smokes.
Hello?
Oz?
Just a minute. He's right here.
Okay, I might as well take my punishment. Give me the phone, son. You'll probably be hearing about this 20 years from now. Okay, Joe, you've got me.
It's not Joe, Oz. It's me, Thorny.
Thorny, it's wonderful to hear your voice. Listen, hang on to the phone for a few minutes, will you? I don't want anybody to ring it. I know this isn't cricket, but I'm in a jam, and I'll explain later. Just keep it off the hook.
I was going to ask you to do the same, Oz. I got to change my clothes. I had a little accident with a trash can. I'm covered with ashes.
Well, as I said earlier in the evening, it sometimes gets very quiet around the Nelson household. What I should have added is that it never stays that way for very long. At least, if today is a typical example. Just as Harriet mentioned that the Nelsons hadn't been out very often recently, Joe Randolph stopped by and invited them to his annual Come-As-You-Are party. So far, Ozzie has gotten his best suit drenched. But now he's seated gingerly in the living room, attired in his second-best outfit, waiting for Joe to phone. I think Harriet's coming in from the dining room. Wonder what she's carrying.
Oh, what have you got there, Harriet?
Well, we're all dressed up, and it's kind of a festive occasion, so I thought I'd whip up a few hors d'oeuvres.
Oh, a little party before the party, huh? Oh, they really look good.
Try one.
Just a second.
What's the idea of all the napkins?
Well, I've already ruined one suit today, and I'm not going to take any chances with this one.
Come on in, Thorny.
Hi, Oz. Hi, Harriet.
Hello, Thorny. Well, I see you're going formal tonight.
Yep, this is one time the joke is going to be on Joe Randolph.
Has he called you yet?
No, I thought I'd drop in and see if he'd called you. Well, what have we got here? Hors d'oeuvres, eh?
Why is it you always drop in just as we're having something to eat?
You know, Oz, I've often wondered about that myself. However, don't let me interrupt you. I'll just sit over here quietly. Quietly and hungrily.
Help yourself, Thorny. There's enough for all of us.
Well, thanks, Harriet. That's mighty neighborly of you. Boy, these really look delicious. There's one thing missing, though.
What's that?
Champagne. We ought to have some champagne to go with these wonderful hors d'oeuvres.
You have pretty expensive taste, don't you, old boy?
We'd only need a small bottle. Say about the size of that bottle of champagne in your refrigerator, Oz.
Now, wait a minute, Thorny. That was a Christmas present. I'm saving it for a special occasion.
Well, this is a very special occasion. We're finally putting one over on that joker, Joe Randolph.
Hey, this is kind of an occasion at that. How about it, Harriet? Shall we live it up tonight?
Whatever you say, dear.
By golly, let's do it. I'll get the champagne and some glasses.
Good boy, Oz. You're a real sport.
Where's Catherine, Thorny?
Oh, she's home fixing her face. You should have heard her laugh when she saw me in my tuxedo. She thinks I'm being silly about the whole thing.
What's Catherine going to wear?
I'll wear whatever she's wearing when Joe calls. She says that's the fun of a come-as-you-are party.
Yes, I suppose so.
Of course, for the last 3 hours, she's been wearing her best party dress.
Well, I don't plan to be trapped this time either.
The laugh's really going to be on old Joe when we walk in there all dressed up. Huh?
Well, here we are. Is this an old enough vintage for you?
Yeah? Oh, yeah, that's fine. 53 was a good year. Want me to show you how to open that?
No, I can open it myself, Thorny.
It's very simple, you know. You just twist those wires.
Yes, I know, Thorny. I've opened a bottle of champagne before.
I don't think you're doing it right, Oz. Here, let me show you.
Will you just sit down? I'm perfectly capable of doing this without your help.
I just want to show you one thing.
Thorny, get your big hands off my bottle of champagne.
If you let go for a minute, I can open it for you.
I told you, I don't need your help. I've almost got it open now.
Nice going, Oz. Now look what you've done.
Look what I've done. Look what you've done. My suit is ruined.
Well, so is my tuxedo.
This wouldn't have happened if you'd kept your big, clumsy hands out of the way.
My big, clumsy hands? What about your big, clumsy hands?
Don't you think you boys had better postpone the argument until you've changed your clothes?
Holy smokes, that's right. Joe's liable to call any time now.
Would you care for anything else?
No, thank you. It was a wonderful dinner, Harriet.
Oh, you were so nervous for fear you'd spill something on your suit, I'll bet you don't even know what we had.
Sure I do. I can tell by the spots on me. Meatloaf, string beans, mashed potatoes, and apple pie. Lucky I had this big apron on.
Well, if you spilled all that, you really were nervous.
Yeah, my hand was trembling a little. I guess I can take off the apron now. You want me to help you clear the table?
Nope, you go on in the living room and relax. You've had a busy day. I wonder when Joe's going to call. The suspense is killing me.
Well, if I know Joe, he'll wait until the last minute. We're ready for him.
Hey, Pop, what do you suppose is wrong with this?
What's that, Rick?
I can't get any ink out of this fountain pen.
No, Ricky, be careful with that thing. Might go off.
Oh, don't worry, Pop. I can't even get any ink out of it.
Well, I'm sure I could all over myself. This is my day for doing things like that.
Maybe it just has to be refilled.
Well, whatever it is, you'll have to do it yourself. It's my last suit, and I'm not taking any chances.
Doggone it, they must pound these stoppers in with a sledgehammer.
What's the matter, Dave?
Can't get the top off this shoe polish. And here, Pop, maybe you can do it.
No! David, take that out on the back porch. All I'd need is to get shoe polish on this suit.
Oh, yeah, forgot about that.
Ozzie, it's almost 7:30. Shouldn't Joe be calling pretty soon?
She hasn't he called yet?
No, Dave, old Joe always calls when you least expect it. Tries to catch you off guard that way.
He won't catch you this time, will he, Pop?
Not this time, Rick.
What's that, dear?
Nothing, just a little loose thread here on my shoulder.
Oh, wait a minute. I'll get a pair of scissors.
No, don't bother. I can break it.
You better let me cut that for you.
No. Ridiculous. Who can't break a little piece of thread?
Gosh, Pop just ripped his coat sleeve off.
For goodness sakes, what kind of a suit is this?
Obviously not a very good one.
Well, I just bought it a couple of weeks ago, and it has to be a pretty good suit. It was on sale. How about that? The sleeve just dropped right off.
Boy, wouldn't it be something if Mr. Randolph called now?
Do you know I'm just about out of clothes?
Well, don't bother to change, dear. Wear that. Maybe you'll start a new fashion for men. Off-the-shoulder jackets.
Here I go again. I've worn more suits today than I usually wear in a month.
We ought to put an elevator in for you, Pop.
It's not a bad idea. It's the first time I've ever been tired out from a party before it's even started. Well, I have exactly 2 wearable outfits left in the closet. My overalls or my swimming trunks?
You have a couple more suits at the cleaners. But those slacks look very nice. Come on over and sit down.
No, I'm just going to stand right here in the middle of the room where nothing can possibly happen to me. That is, unless the roof falls in.
What's the matter now?
I think I see a crack in the ceiling. Harriet, the next time Joe gives one of these deals, I'm going to have a plastic slip cover made for myself. Boy, it's about time. We made it, though. Hello.
Hello, Oz. This is Joe Randolph.
Yes, Joe, I kind of thought it might be you.
I got some bad news, Oz. I'm afraid we're going to have to postpone the party.
Oh, Joe, you're kidding.
Well, I hate to call you up at the last minute, but just one of those things.
No, but we've been waiting. I mean, we've been looking forward to the party.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure sorry. I hope you aren't too disappointed.
Well, of course we're disappointed. I understand, though.
Yeah, well, I got to call a lot of people, so I'll see you later, Oz.
Well, so long, Joe. Fine. How do you like that?
What is it?
The Randolphs have had to postpone their party.
Somebody sick?
Yeah, I am.
No, I mean, why did they have to postpone it?
Well, I don't know. He had to call a lot of people. I didn't ask.
Well, what do we do now?
Well, I'm going upstairs and change my clothes.
Again?
Yes, but for the last time. I'm going to put on my pajamas and robe, watch television for a little while, and go to bed.
Oh, I think that's a wonderful idea.
Well, at least I'll be able to relax now. Harriet.
Yes, dear?
Look, the Randolphs are nice people. I know you and Clara are good friends, and Joe and I are good friends. But if you ever hear they're giving another party, let's try and arrange to be out of town. Oh, hi, fellas.
Gee, Pop, what'd you spill on yourself this time?
What do you mean?
How come you're wearing your pajamas?
Oh, that. Oh, the party's been postponed.
Gee, that's too bad, Pop.
Yeah, well, I'd just soon stay home. Besides, I really feel comfortable for the first time today.
Want me to answer it, Pop?
No, I'll get it. It's probably Thorny. Hello?
Hi, Oz. Joe Randolph again.
Oh, hiya, Joe.
Okay, you know the party rules. No fair cheating either. You gotta wear just what you have on right now.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
The come-at-your party tonight.
Tonight? You said you were going to postpone it.
That's right. We postponed it from 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock. I've caught more people this way.
Wait a minute. Joe?
See you later.
Joe? All the dirty tricks.
What were you shouting about, dear?
Though Joe's party wasn't postponed, it was all a gag. He just called up and...
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. I was under the dryer. What did you say?
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Well, don't look so startled. You've seen this old bathrobe before. You've seen me with my hair up in curlers, too.
I know, dear, and I've seen you with your face covered with cold cream before. Let's go. We're off to the Randolphs.
This is Vern Smith saying tune in again next week for another transcribed adventure of Ozzie and Harriet, starring Ozzie Nelson and Harriet Hilliard.